watching Defunctland, the demolition of Six Flags AstroWorld. When I moved to Houston as a wee little octopus, it actually was already demolished. I don't know what happened. I think it was a parking lot, or that was the rumor when I was a child. So I'm excited to see what actually happened. Let's check it out. Let's go! Now where's the Buc-ee's?
In the late 1950s, Texas-based property developer Angus G. Wynn Jr. visited the newly opened Disneyland in Anaheim, California. After seeing the full potential of theme parks, Wynn decided that he would create his own in the Lone Star State. This led to the development of Six Flags Over Texas.
Oh my God, I used to go to Six Flags. Honestly, Six Flags is fun because there's no rules. People be eating chicken tenders on the roller coaster, throwing stuff. It was insane. Lawless land.
Which would open in Arlington in August of 1961. The name Six Flags came from the 6 nations that have governed Texas: Spain,
I've been to this one,
France,
I think.
Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the Confederate States of America, and the United States of America.
Yep.
These would also operate as the park's 6 themed lands, all of which would contain simple attractions and shows.
Yes, and this area right here, France, they have the best water. So you can go up and you say, hey, can I get a cup of water? And they'll give you one for free. Never buy a water bottle at a theme park. You are getting scammed.
Six Flags Over Texas was a success, and Wynn quickly began the development of a second park. In June of 1967, Six Flags Over Georgia would open outside of Atlanta. Just 4 years later, in June of 1971, a third
June 5th, that's the day before my birthday! Guys, I'm gonna throw a birthday party at Six Flags. Everybody's invited.
park, Six Flags Over Mid-America, would debut in St. Louis, Missouri. This would be the last full-fledged amusement park in the United States to be constructed by the company. And every Six Flags to open after 1971 was an acquisition of a pre-existing park.
Interesting.
The first of these would come in 1975, with Six Flags rebranding a young park located in the heart of Houston, Texas.
Let's go, H-Town! This is where I grew up! Hello, hello! Yeehaw, baby! This intro is so good. Guys, this is gonna sound like insane glaze, so be prepared, Krispy Kreme on this shit. But like, there are some YouTube content creators where I feel like they could have like huge produced like videos or maybe like documentaries. They are so good at direction. They're good at storytelling, and like a Defunctland special would go insane. Beautiful.
This crowd of more than 50,000 attending a Houston Astros baseball game.
This was before they cheated. Okay, everybody, they're allowed to be happy to be here.
In the world's largest air-conditioned room is but one example of the reason more than 4 million persons annually attend all kinds of events and visitor tours in the Astrodome.
Oh, I saw that in
the
King of the
early
Hill.
1960s, Judge Roy Hofheinz, a former mayor of the city of Houston, spent over $30 million to construct a sports stadium for the Houston Astros baseball team.
Jeez, is that why the roads were so bad? But the Astrodome does have like insane aura.
The complex would be named the Astrodome, which, like the Astros, was given its name in honor of the newly constructed Manned Spacecraft Center. Due to the scorching climate of coastal Texas,
It's
Hofheinz
hot.
decided to make the Astrodome covered, creating the world's first fully domed sports stadium.
Honestly, pretty smart. Like, the worst part about going to some games is if it's not covered, you get so hot so fast and you just want to leave.
The Astrodome opened in 1965 to much fanfare, being hailed as the 8th wonder of the world for its unique and impressive design. After the success of the stadium, Hofheinz saw potential in a larger entertainment complex, which he would call the Astrodomain. This was to include a
domain expansion!
convention center named the Astro Hall, on-property hotels, and a brand new amusement park named AstroWorld. Hofheinz wasted no time, purchasing additional land on Houston's Loop 610 and beginning development on the Astrodomain. The plans for Hofheinz theme park were finalized in January of 1967. In the fall of that same year, Hofheinz would announce the park to the public. He touted that the park would become the world's greatest tourist attraction, with the potential of 1.5 million guests every year.
That's
Hoff
a
Hines
lot
had
of
consulted
people.
with management at Disneyland Park as well as Six Flags Over Texas in an attempt to
He's got
avoid issues that
connections.
the parks faced during their openings. Hoff Hines had purchased around 115 acres of land on the other side of the interstate from the Astrodome, and only around 57 acres of the plot would be used for the park at opening, with plenty of room to expand.
I never thought about that. That's pretty smart, because if it does get big, like, the worst thing about having a growing, like, theme park or I guess business like this is you run out of room, and then people want more stuff. So you either have to, like, have it on reserve or maybe, like, deconstruct things that aren't good anymore. I think what they're doing at Universal just made a new park. It's called Epic. They have land on reserve too, so that way if they get big enough, they'll put more stuff.
AstroWorld was designed by architect and Hollywood art director Randall Dwell. After spending decades as a designer on many famous Hollywood films,
Whoa!
Dwell would create a firm that would combine his architectural skill and cinematic techniques. With this, he and his associates would go on to design a large number of U.S. theme parks,
Gotta have a
including
train.
Six Flags Over Texas. Designing AstroWorld was not going to be Dwell's easiest assignment, and many obstacles were clear from the start. The first issue with the area was that the ground was particularly wet and swampy.
Ew!
This required over 1 million cubic yards of dirt to be brought in to fill the foundation in order to prevent flooding.
So where do they get the dirt from? Like, it doesn't, like, magically spawn in. Is there, like, a company that just dig big hole all day and then sell dirt to people? Like, where do you source this? Asmon's room? Oh, that makes sense.
Also, Loop 610 separated the park from the rest of the Astrodomain, so a private bridge would be built across the interstate in order to allow guests parking on the Astrodome side to walk to AstroWorld. At one point, discussion of a monorail loop for the Astrodomain properties was discussed, but this never came to fruition. Finally, Houston's heat would bring out the innovator in Hoff Hines once again. He, Dwell, and the air conditioning company Carrier would create an elaborate outdoor cooling system in which fans blowing cold water would be placed throughout the park.
Wait, I know those! They do that still at Six Flags. They're like the squirter machines. And they just, like, slow mist, like, over and over and over again. And then you just gotta stand under it and go like this. But I don't want to have wet socks all day, so I try to go a little fast.
Blending in with the theming, the park received elaborate landscaping, giving AstroWorld lush greenery that was rarely seen in the area. As for the layout, Dwell divided the park into 8 themed areas: American Square, Oriental Corner, Plaza de Fiesta,
I guess they
Children's
renamed
World,
that.
Western Junction, European Village, Alpine Valley, and Maudville.
Maudville? Oh my god, wait! My mods can be let out of the basement! You guys have your own little village!
The American Square was the park's entrance. It was similar in design and function to Disneyland's Main Street USA, with a variety of shops and eateries placed throughout the area. Oriental Corner featured a station for the park's train, the 610 Limited, the Black Dragon, an octopus-style carnival ride.
Who wants to ride? Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that.
And a station for the Astroway, AstroWorld's own Skyway attraction. Plaza de Fiesta was home to the Lost World Adventure, a Jungle Cruise-style boat ride that took guests along a river and featured narrating skippers and animated figures.
Is that a roach? Oh my god.
Children's
He's out of
World,
mana.
as the name implies, featured attractions for younger children. These included the Maypole, a teacups ride, a playground featuring an enormous boot slide, a petting zoo, and the Rub-a-Dub, a simple boat ride themed after nursery rhymes. The Western Junction featured another train station for the 610 Limited, as well as the Crystal Palace Theater, reserved mainly for Western-themed stage shows. The area also included a Wild West shooting gallery, a Chance Trabant carnival ride named Wagon Wheel, and—
Wait, they have that wagon wheel ride! Wagon wheel ride. It's a tongue twister. Wagon wheel ride, wagon wheel ride, wagon wheel ride. They have that wagon wheel ride at the other Six Flags, and I think it's themed after the Tasmanian Devil. Like, you know, the guy goes, I think that's his ride.
Mill Pond bumper boats. The European Village prominently featured the Astro Needle, originally named Skyrama. This 340 feet tall double-decker Intamin gyro tower slowly lifted guests into the air, gently spinning in order to give them a view of the park and surrounding area.
Oh, you built that in Roller Coaster Tycoon so people can look at all the rides and see where they want to spend money. But I actually think that's a myth because I saw a video that was like top 10 Roller Coaster Tycoon myths, and they said that they actually don't pick based on going up and down the thing.
Due to its size and placement, this was considered to be the park's centerpiece. Also located in the European section was the
Little
Taxi, a
cars!
French car ride that allowed guests to drive around a track and through a tunnel. The Alpine Valley featured a carousel, the other station for the Astroway, and AstroWorld's most complex ride, the Alpine Sleigh Ride. This thrilling dark ride took guests in sleighs in and around the mountain, named Der Hofheinsberg. From the outside, guests could view the large structure, with its snowy peaks and gushing waterfall.
That's beautiful.
The ride itself utilized state-of-the-art technology. On the way up the mountain, guests would pass the Echo Tunnel, with a sign encouraging them to yodel into it.
Wait, is this right?
I think, oh, that's not right.
This one? Yodeling, ooh, yodeling, ooh, yodeling, yodeling, ooh. Oh, wrong button, sorry.
They would eventually reach a second tunnel, hearing what they had shouted before. This was executed with a microphone in the first tunnel, recording the sounds onto a specially developed tape.
That is so cool! What a fun concept!
It was perfectly timed to play the recording in a second tunnel just as guests reached it.
Wow!
The next effect came after a steep drop into the mountain in a section nicknamed the Blasting Tunnel.
Ugh.
Here, strobe lights would brightly flash, disorienting riders.
Somebody's gonna have like a Porygon moment in there. I don't know if that was a great idea.
They would then fly past a scene of a miner with explosives next to a boarded up tunnel. Guests would dip and turn, eventually making their way past a film projection of an avalanche.
Whoa.
After this, guests would come face to face with an abominable snow.
I'm sorry, I was laughing because I'm used to them being an animatronic, but that's just some dude in a suit. He's literally just an employed furry.
Man, played by a park employee in a crude costume. While the entire ride was inspired by Disneyland's Matterhorn bobsleds, the addition of the monster actually predated Disneyland's animatronic by a decade.
Oh, the
The next
Yeti.
section guests would enter was the cold room, complete with falling ice and freezing temperatures.
Okay, how expensive would that have been to operate though? Because any time I left the door open for more than 1 second, I'd always hear, "Hey, we're not air conditioning the whole neighborhood." So that must have been a lot of money to air condition a room outside in Houston, Texas.
This effect was made possible by the air conditioning of Carrier, and the cold room was the attraction's biggest draw, especially on the hottest days of the summer.
Yeah.
After making their way through the room, guests would take a final steep drop, returning them to the loading station. The attraction was by far the most unique and heavily themed experience at AstroWorld. It would open 3 weeks after the park due to construction delays.
So what I was saying, it's like, if you're a construction Andy, I know that sounds terminally online because it is terminally online. If you work in construction, having a job like this would be fun. Like, you're just making a theme park. Like, that seems really great. I would want to do that.
The ride would unsurprisingly experience a variety of technical difficulties over time, causing the removal of many of the original effects, including the abominable snowman, which only lasted a few years due to poor guest-to-monster relations.
What is going on? Is he spitting on them?
Finally, the Maudeville section of the park consisted of a variety of flat rides. These included a double-lift Ferris wheel, the Astro Wheel, a scrambler ride, the Happening, and another tracked auto ride named Spinout. AstroWorld came with a high price tag, around $25 million.
Jeez.
But it seemed that it was well worth the cost.
If you were really, really, really rich, could you build a theme park and only let you and your friends in? I'm pretty sure that's a South Park episode, but I'm curious on if you could actually do that. That would be fun.
Hofheinz and Dwell's attention to detail rivaled that of Disney, and the assortment of attractions built before the park's debut was impressive to say the least. With AstroWorld completed, it was time to open the wonderful world of fun for its first season.
Yay! I like the song.
Let's get happy for a day. AstroWorld is waiting for you. Anytime you say.
Oh, catchy!
Dancing in the moonlight, playing in the sunshine. We make people happy. AstroWorld.
I wish I got to go.
AstroWorld opened its gates to the public on June 1st, 1968. The park saw around 50,000 guests in its first weekend, receiving rave reviews for its theming, its attractions, and especially its air conditioning.
Yes, come on. It's like AC made so many things more enjoyable, especially just living. Like, I don't think I could live in the South without AC.
AstroWorld was another success for Hofheinz and the Astrodome, and the planned expansions to the park went forward. The Oriental Corner would receive 2 new rides from Aero Development, a log flume named the Bamboo Chute and a junior coaster named Serpent. The park would receive its first new themed land in 1970, Fun Island was located in the lagoon in the center of the park and would feature 2 attractions.
Okay.
A tilted house named the Wacky Shack, and a roller coaster named the Swamp Buggy Ride.
Whoa.
This was Chance Industries' signature toboggan coaster.
That looks like something you make in Roller Coaster Tycoon when you have no idea what you're doing. It's just a stick that goes up and down.
The style
I would
was
puke
usually
on that.
portable, with the simple ride lifting guests vertically through the coaster's center and then letting gravity
Oh, they'll
spiral the
love
cars
it.
downward. Astroworld version was unique in that the coaster was designed to look like a giant tree.
Oh.
In 1972, another new land,
I would
Country
ride it.
Fair, opened. This expansion cost around $1.5 million, and
Jeez.
it included Astroworld's first big coaster, the Dexter Freebish electric roller ride.
I love roller coasters, man. My favorite roller coaster still is the Velocicoaster. If you have never ridden the Velocicoaster, you should before you die. Okay, well, that made it sound like something terrible was going to happen to you soon. I mean, don't worry about it. That is not a timer.
This aero minecart reached a height of 80 feet and featured a 60-foot drop. A new carousel, a walk-through museum of time period antiques, and a
It's at Universal Orlando, I think. It's that one. Yeah, not the one. I think they have Universal in Hollywood. Somewhere over there. But the ride, awesome.
featured a 60-foot drop. A new carousel, a walk-through museum of time period antiques, and a bumper car ride named the Der Fender Bender also premiered in the area.
Ooh.
Astroworld's official mascot, Marvel McFay, made his first appearance around this time. The character would soon get his own theater with stage shows in Children's World.
Okay, let's look at the little guys here. The lion, probably my favorite. I think the lion's cute. I'm not really feeling the rest of them. There's something that is off. I feel like they're gonna stab me.
The park was filling out quite nicely, adding shops and restaurants, renovating rides, and switching out the smaller attractions every so often. The park had become part of Houston, and the locals looked forward to its operating season each year. However, whether guests had asked for it or not, change was on its way.
No, please! I hope they don't freak out like everybody did when I changed my face tracking. I got so many comments that were like, what happened to your face?
Where in the world but AstroWorld can you have so much fun?
Whoa, dolphins!
Cooling off on the water slide.
I don't like water rides. I don't like walking around with wet shoes all day.
The memories will always stay. Trip on the loop.
Wow!
You won't believe what surprises will bring. Where in the world but AstroWorld can you have so much fun?
Good logo, too! Oh, bing, bing, bing,
The
bing, bing,
biggest
bing,
change
bing,
to
bing.
Astroworld in its early years came in 1975, less than a decade after the
Could he not have a more lavish office? What is this?
park opened.
He robbed like 3 museums to get this shit.
Hofheinz, hindered by health and financial issues,
He looks like a Yakuza boss.
decided to lease Astroworld to Six Flags with an option to purchase, which the company would do before the 1976 season. Being their first acquired park, Six Flags was eager to make it their own. In 1976, the Coney Island area would open in Astroworld. This would bring a new theater and a fan-favorite coaster, the Texas Cyclone. Six Flags had considered relocating Coney Island
Nice.
Cyclone to Houston, but after factoring in the cost of transporting the existing ride, decided to build a new attraction based off the classic coaster.
Wait, so do people really like deconstruct roller coasters and then just like move them somewhere else? That would be really hard. I mean, I guess you could save the materials so there's like a little bit of cost efficiency, but I would just make a new one. What do I know though? I'm a VTuber. I have no idea. Like, yeah, carnivals I understand because you can just lift. Yeah. What if we get 3 very big helicopters and they lift the entire ride and move it? Someone should look into developing that technology.
Reaching speeds of 60 miles per hour and dropping guests 92 feet, the wooden
Jeez.
coaster was one of the largest of its kind when it opened.
And wooden coasters, they can like really shake you up. Like, I remember, this is like another Houston memory. There's something there called the Kima Boardwalk, and they have like a wooden coaster there too. And I convinced my grandpa to ride it with me. He almost died. It was so shaky and his veteran's hat fell off. And I felt so bad. I asked the lady, I was like, can you get my grandpa's hat? And she said, no. it's gone for good. I felt so
The
bad.
Texas Cyclone dazzled guests and critics, and it made the park a must for many thrill seekers. The Texas Cyclone would soon be labeled the #1 coaster in the world. In
Wow!
1978, the shuttle loop coaster Grease Lightning opened in the Western Junction. This coaster, manufactured by Anton Schwarzkopf, featured one large loop that the train would
Cool.
travel through once forward after launch, and then again backwards.
Fun!
2 years later in 1980,
That is really smart though, like to just send the roller coaster back so you save on space, but then make the ride twice as long. And the thrill of going backwards.
AstroWorld would receive another major expansion. Thunder River, the world's first river rapids ride, would open at the park.
Whoa. They were huge innovators. I had no idea. Like this entire video, he said like at least 20 times that they were the first to do it.
While common ride type now, this was the first of its kind,
Wow.
and a huge get for AstroWorld. In 1983, Sky Screamer, an intimate drop tower, would debut in the Plaza de Fiesta section of the park.
Intimate drop tower. You guys started making out with Becky right next to you.
The tower was 143
Wow!
feet tall and dropped guests down onto a piece of curved track. This same year,
Cool.
the Alpine Sleigh ride would close due to high maintenance costs, leaving the mountain
Oh.
abandoned. The ambitious ride had a 15-year run
Aw,
at AstroWorld.
that's good.
1983 would also see Waterworld, a separate water park, open
Smart.
next door. The
Especially in Houston, having a water park is literally money printer.
park featured a standard array of slides and pools. A year later, in 1984, AstroWorld received the Aero Suspended Coaster XLR8, or Accelerate,
That's
which would be placed
cool.
in the Plaza de Fiesta area. Its track would dangle guests directly over the Lost World Adventure, which had been renamed to the
Wow.
River of No Return. In its later years, the coaster would turn around some of its cars, allowing guests to choose between riding the coaster facing forward or backwards.
That is fun. I like how they just do like these goofy little add-ons. Yes, I have been to Splashtown, and I've been to Wet and Wild. I've been to Schlitterbahn. Wet and Wild sounds like a corno. I've also been to Schlitterbahn, Kima, Boardwalk, and Six Flags in Texas.
This was also the time cars, allowing guests to choose between riding the coaster facing forward or backwards. This was also the time that Six Flags acquired the rights to the Looney Tunes characters from Warner
Oh,
Brothers. and Time
huge
Warner was
pickup.
becoming increasingly interested in the chain of theme parks.
Yes, and I remember this because when I was a kid, when we went to Six Flags, what they did in the lines is they would have like hanging TVs and it would just play like Looney Tunes over and over and over again. And at least it was distracting.
The Houston park was at the mercy of the Six Flags Corporation, but so far, it had treated AstroWorld extremely well, constantly bringing new rides, attractions, and
Yeah.
experiences. Six Flags was actively making the park better,
True.
and they had more improvements planned for the coming years.
I like that guy. He was cute.
Oh, yes! I don't care!
I don't care how many of you hate Long John Silver's. I actually think it's so good. It's delicious, and my uncle used to always get the bits. I like it. I don't care. I'm
This fall,
old.
make your
I'm
visit
old.
to AstroWorld go even further with super savings from Long John Silver's.
But I'm gonna be honest. If they have a Long John Silver's at a theme park, I am not eating that shit.
Now through November 29th, save $4 on your AstroWorld ticket with discount coupons from Long John Silver's.
Oh, they did that at like Kroger too, I think. Probably. I just made that up. I hate that man with the hat. He's ugly.
In the mid-1980s, a dance club named Studio A would open in AstroWorld.
They got
Because
a
it seems that
club?
no theme park was safe from the 80s. A Houston MTV-style dance show would be shot here, named Video City. This is also the
What?
year that Halloween festivities would begin.
Okay, the Halloween outfits are kind of cute. Like, he's downright adorable.
In 1987, a new attraction called Looping Starship would debut. A year later, the water ride Tidal Wave replaced the River of No Return, which had been rethemed to the wetlands a few years prior. This marked an end to the attraction's 20-year run. In 1989, a new steel coaster, Viper, opened in the Oriental
Whoa.
Village. The coaster was 80 feet tall, had a small tunnel on the first drop, and featured one inversion.
I can
The
fight
next
it.
year, another new coaster, Ultra Twister, would open. This unique ride was a pipeline roller coaster and had previously operated at Six
Huh?
Flags Great Adventure before being moved to the Houston park.
I've never actually seen this ride in real life. I've only ever seen it in Roller Coaster Tycoon. That is crazy. Chastity belt ass coaster.
This was the only ride of its kind in the United States,
Yeah.
as the coaster had originated in Japan.
Oh.
In 1993, AstroWorld opened a major new attraction. The ride was named Batman the Escape.
Oh, I remember the Batman rides. Actually, the Batman ride that I rode was not at the Six Flags. It was at the other one, and it like flips you upside down and shit.
This stand-up coaster had been a resident at 2 previous Six Flags parks before making its way to AstroWorld. Here, it would be themed to the DC comic superhero. The main villain of the ride was the Penguin, who was pursuing guests throughout the queue and the ride. The queue featured areas themed to Arctic Park and Gotham City cold storage.
They should just have like somebody dressed up as the Penguin and he just like kidnaps people. Actually, do not let me have a roller coaster park. I'm definitely going to court.
The queue featured areas themed to Arctic Park and Gotham City cold storage. The coaster itself had little theming apart from color and a short tunnel with strobe lights. The attraction was quite rough, jostling guests throughout their ride, but it was extremely popular despite this. Next to Batman the Escape, Six Flags finally found a use for the abandoned mountain structure left over from the Alpine Slate.
Oh, is it Batman's entrance to his Batcave? I remember I used to make this every single time I played Minecraft. There is a tutorial on how to make a waterfall door, and it's labeled Batman Minecraft tutorial. I have done that so many times.
They ride. This show building would become home to the Batcave.
Yeah.
Guests on their way to Batman the Escape could walk inside Bruce Wayne's secret lair and see some of his gadgets, the Batman suit, and even the Batmobile. The same year that Batman the Escape opened, Time Warner would complete its takeover of the Six Flags Corporation. Little changed for the Six Flags parks under the new management, as they had been using Warner Brothers properties for years by then. The parks had nothing to worry about for the time being. However, this moment of peace would not last long.
Oh my god. What happened in 1995?
In 1995, an indoor coaster, the Mayan Mindbender, would open at AstroWorld. This was a fairly tame ride, but the dark added an extra thrill to the experience and the extra theming was appreciated.
Not everything has to be super hardcore. Like, one of my other favorite roller coasters is the Mummy, and it's not super fast or nothing, but the theming's fun and it's kind of campy and cool. Like, I like the dark rides. I think they're cool.
A few years later in 1998, an even more detailed attraction, a drop tower named Dungeon Drop, would open.
I hate drop towers, though. I never ride those because they always make me feel like I'm going to puke all over everybody.
This ride was themed after a castle, and it had an impressively themed queue. This year also saw the addition of Taz's Texas Tornado, a Schwarzkopf traveling coaster with multiple loops. But this was all minor news compared to what was happening to Six Flags as a whole. Time Warner had been approached by a company named Premier Parks. The corporation, which had only begun operation in 1982, was purchasing as many regional amusement parks as corporately possible. After going public in 1996, they never had the funds necessary to purchase the Six Flags parks off of Time Warner's hands. Time Warner, which had recently begun selling other aspects of their business, agreed. Premier took control of all of the Six Flags parks, bringing the total number of amusement parks owned by the company to 31.
Holy crap! There's no way they can manage that many parks!
Kieran Burke, the chairman and CEO of Premier Parks, celebrated that this is a transforming transaction for Premier, making us the world's largest regional theme park company. Premier began rebranding their existing parks with the Six Flags label.
Oh, is this why people started throwing chicken tenders at people off the rides?
Eventually dropping the name Premier altogether in favor of Six Flags Theme Parks Incorporated.
Oh, yeah, but when does the old man start dancing and getting off the bus? I need to know if he's also owned by Premier Parks.
Continued operation as usual, hoping that the changes in the company would have only positive effects on the 30-year-old park.
They're not gonna care. It's not a passion project. It's just a money printer now. And now it's 2005. Oh, the horror.
Years after the acquisition by Premier, Six Flags AstroWorld was virtually the same. The last major ride the park had received was 1999's Serial Thriller, a Vekoma suspended coaster.
But even then, like, it's 2005? And their last roller coaster was in 1999, but it seemed like before they were just like building, innovating, new land, boom, 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 boom. But now they have way too many parks.
Apart from a couple of new carnival rides and a few repainted attractions, AstroWorld was stagnant. The park had undergone a lot of change in the past 37 years. Many fan-favorite attractions were removed, such as Excalibur in 1998 and even the Astro Needle in 2000.
It looks like a bomb.
The majority of the park's signature attractions remained, including Dungeon Drop, Looping Starship, Tidal Wave, Thunder River, the Astroway, Bamboo Chute, the Antique Taxis, the 610 Limited, Mayan Mindbender, Grease Lightning, Batman the Escape, Accelerate, Viper.
They have a lot of rides,
and
honestly.
The Texas Cyclone. the park had entertained many guests in the nearly 40 years it had operated. While the park had been receiving less attention and experiencing more issues, it was still beloved by the citizens of Houston and the guests that visited, and none of them could have expected what was about to happen.
What?
Turn out the lights, the party's over. 37 years of Houston history have come to a close.
Six Flags AstroWorld shut down for good this evening. Well, they said it would happen about 6. It took longer because some fans just didn't want to say goodbye.
Yeah, it's like a way of life. I mean, that's a little dramatic, but like, they probably went there when they were kids and then took their kids there, or they're taking grandkids there. It's like losing some, like, piece of you.
11 News reporter Jeremy Diesel was there tonight for the final ride. He joins us now to tell.
Hey, just found you from your old as heck Reddit account.
You saw me posting on 90 Day Fiancé getting banned from Dark Souls?
Goodbye.
11 News reporter Jeremy Diesel was there tonight for the final ride. He joins us now to tell us about the end. Jeremy.
Well, that's right. It took about 2 extra hours to get folks out of the lines for those rides and out of the parks.
Oh my God, they were holding on to the bars. Don't let go. Never let go.
Certainly, AstroWorld over the years has been known for all of its thrills and its screams, and on closing day, you can add tears to the list.
On September 12, 2005, CEO Kieran Burke announced that AstroWorld would not reopen for the 2006 season. Many reasons were cited for its closure, including decreased quality of staff, increasingly rude guests, decreased attendance, and an unfortunate circumstance.
The rumor I heard growing up, this may or may not be true, it was just little whispers, was that they wanted to demolish the park and make it a parking lot for the Houston Rodeo because so many people came there and they had nowhere else to park. That was the rumor in my side of the town, okay?
Since AstroWorld was separated from the Astrodome after Six Flags acquired it, the park had been leasing parking from the complex. Unfortunately, when the Houston Texans were created in 2002, a new stadium was built next to the existing Astrodome. This would not only be used for football.
Look at that! I told you the rodeo was coming! Yeah!
Games, but it would also host Houston's biggest events, including the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
And they do have good corn dogs there, I'll be honest with you. Probably the greatest corn dogs in the entire world.
This caused parking disputes between AstroWorld and the new stadium. All of these issues led Six Flags to decide that it was time to close the park.
Aww.
Or maybe it was something else. Perhaps all of the aforementioned issues were not just a series of misfortunes Six Flags had to endure. It was quite the opposite, really. While Six Flags was quick to point out all of the problems the park was facing, they did not mention that their company was in over $2 billion of debt.
What? $2 billion? Oh my God.
You know, I always say, I don't think I could spend $1 billion.
But it looks like they found a way.
Premier had not stopped purchasing parks after obtaining Six Flags. The company continued its acquisitions, both in the US and abroad, at a rate that was unsustainable. The tipping point came in the early 2000s, with the company's debt becoming so massive that shareholders began to take notice. In an attempt to avoid bankruptcy, Six Flags began selling off many of their international parks, and looked within the US to see which ones they could do without. AstroWorld, which had been long neglected, caught their attention, despite the issues being their own fault. Poor management could be attributed to no attention from corporate. Weak attendance was because there was little to no investments made in the park for nearly a decade. And the rude behavior by guests could be due to the park decreasing their season pass price, turning the park into a cheap babysitting service for parents in the area.
Honestly, Six Flags was kind of like that for a while. I think this was at Six Flags. They had a story where they sell like this pass where you can go into the park and you get to eat like a bunch of chicken tenders or something. It's like 20 bucks and then you can leave. So people were just buying the Eat the Chicken Tenders pass that comes with the season pass, and they would go in, eat lunch, and then leave. And they come back the next day, eat their chicken tenders, then leave.
Also, there were many potential solutions to the parking dispute, but Six Flags, now possessed by a company with an itchy trigger finger and $2 billion of self-imposed debt, saw their window. Since AstroWorld was directly next door to Houston's brand new sports and events complex, the company believed that this was a perfect time to sell, as the property value for the surrounding area to the stadium was at its highest. They expected to receive $150 million for the land, and plan to send many of AstroWorld's attractions to different parks, which would potentially increase revenue at those locations. AstroWorld would see its final guests on October 30th, 2005, and demolition would begin the very next day.
They couldn't even wait! They already started destroying it!
Some of the rides, such as Dungeon Drop, Tidal Wave, Serial Thriller, Batman the Escape, Mayan Mindbender, and Grease Lightning were relocated.
Aww.
Others were not so lucky. Casualties included Thunder River, Bamboo Shoot, the Astroway, Accelerate, Viper, Serpent, and even the Texas Cyclone.
The Texas Cyclone! Do they have no shame?
Many of the relocated rides never reopened and remained in storage.
What? Wait, what storage facility is big enough for a roller coaster?
Is it a pocket dimension?
Many of those that did resume operation have since closed. The demolition of AstroWorld cost around $20 million, and the land was sold to a local land development firm for only $77 million, nearly half of what Six Flags expected. This prompted the firing of Kieran Burke, and a new CEO was left to deal with the mess. The following years would be difficult for Six Flags, with many of the parks being closed or stripped of the company's branding. But AstroWorld's story was already over. As of 2018, the lot formerly occupied by the park is empty, and is rarely utilized apart from infrequent special events. It is used occasionally, and ironically, for additional parking for the stadium across the interstate.
That's what I was trying to tell you guys.
The Astrodome saw a similar fate, and now sits unused, leaving nearly the entire Astrodome abandoned.
Wow.
AstroWorld is a rare instance of an entire park being demolished.
Yeah.
And it is especially shocking given its size. Not only were numerous rides and attractions lost, but the world that they inhabited was lost as well.
Aww.
It is not ruined, it is not abandoned, it is just gone. The loss of the park has left a hole in the hearts of many locals, especially as they celebrate what would have been
don't
its
do
50th
that!
birthday. While AstroWorld may have been
Oh my
physically
God.
destroyed, it lives on in the memories of those lucky enough to have visited, and those that yearn to go back to Houston's wonderful world of fun.
Aww.
Let your troubles slide away. Let's get happy for a day.
Clappy,
Astroworld is waiting for you anytime you say, hey, dancing
Take out your lighter.
in the moonlight, playing in the sunshine. We make people happy. AstroWorld.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Oh wait, there's more.
Bing, 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 bing.
Wow. Oh wait, there's more.
Hello, no one is available to take your call.
What?
Well then, fuck you.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Oh, it wasn't the tone?
It's time. It's time to sell out
What?
again.
What was that?
Anyway, this video was amazing. I love watching the Defunctland videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to give a like to the video and then also maybe subscribe, that super helps me out.
Or use code Barry at checkout for 10% off your GamerStop's order. I would super appreciate it. I hope you have a great evening. Goodbye, YouTube! Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye!